Hi. Well, it's been a really long time since I've posted anything. Some of you may not know, I've been in the military for a really long time, and I just now retired from the military, and I had to complete a cross-country move and a bunch of other stuff. So I haven't actually brewed anything um, for a really long time, and that is despite being in this pandemic and not being able to go anywhere. I still couldn't make anything because I was getting ready to move and I had to move, so forth and so on. Anyway, so I'm in my house in my new location, which should be pretty much my forever home. Um, I haven't really set up anything so I can do any real brewing, but for my birthday, um, my daughter got me a kit, and it's for making ginger beer. And I've never made ginger beer. So I'm going to go and follow the instructions. It came with everything I needed. It came with a 1-gallon fermenter. It came with an airlock with a tiny little bung on it. It came with a tiny little racking cane. Is that adorable? Some hose, instructions, this bag of whatever's in here that makes ginger beer, some no rinse cleanser, and some Safale US 05 yeast, which we're already used to using, right? So the instructions say that you get everything, you get yourself a pot, you get everything you need ready, everything all nice and clean. Set me out a great big bowl so I can do sanitize my stuff inside here. And they want 17 cups of filtered water. I use the water out of my fridge because it has a filter in the door. Otherwise, I'd have to go buy filtered water, and I don't want to leave the house. So I had 17 cups of filtered water. It says to bring it up to a boil, then turn it down to a simmer. Put all of this in here, and apparently there is some dry ingredients and then something in a bag. I'm not sure what. I haven't opened it yet. I'll show you in a minute. And then you put a lid on it and you let it simmer for an hour. I'm not sure why, because I don't think it has any hops in it. It's not beer. It says it has cane sugar, ginger root, lemon peel, coriander, and lime peel. And normally you have to, boil hops because that's how you extract the bitterness or the flavor or the aroma, whichever you're trying to go for. So I'm not sure why I still need to boil it or simmer it for an hour, but I'm going to follow the instructions just as they say. It'll ferment in this 1-gallon jug. I'll probably put it in my pantry. It says 7 to 10 days, so it's a little bit less than regular beer. So I'll probably put it in there for closer to 10 days. And then I already have some of those PET plastic soda bottles. I already have some of those. So I'll bottle it in that. It's just add a little bit more sugar and then bottle it just like you would. Only it says in a day that it'll be carbonated and then you can throw it in the fridge. I don't know if that's going to happen, so we'll see. But I'll make sure I put some follow-ups here. Hopefully, those of you who do follow this page or this channel, whatever it's called, get something out of this. I mean, this is something neat, something new. I'm not even a big fan of ginger, but got the kit, so might as well go for it, right? And if I don't like it, then I'll give it to somebody, because that's what I do when I don't like my beer that I make. So anyway, let's get to work. So I opened this up. Oh, there's an awful lot of sugar, huh? I think it's just all sugar. Let's see. Dump it in there. Yeah, I think it's just like a pound of sugar. Oh, there's a bag. Okay, so that's all that's in there. It is cane sugar. And then it comes with a mesh bag that has the aromatics and stuff. Oh, it's interesting. Look at that. I can even reuse it. That's definitely just sugar. It's sticky. You can smell this. It smells a lot like ginger right now. And then the orange peels and lemon peels. Is that what it has in it? Whatever it has in it. They're obviously dried. They're not going to be like fresh. And then coriander. So that's interesting. I find it interesting that it doesn't want you to do it like you would a beer and steep those grains first. I'm not sure why they don't want you to do that, but if this is how they do it, then this is how they do it. It says to put the whole thing in once the water's boiling. So I set that pot on. We'll get it boiling, and we'll move to the next step. All right, so looks like we're all boiling. I'm just gonna shut this heat off. Just pull this over to another burner real quick. It doesn't tell you to do that, but I don't normally put hot sticky stuff in if I'm not going to be stirring. So, and I'm one-handed today. So this is the cane sugar. It's just like coarse granulated sugar. I'm going to just pour it in and start stirring real quick, and then we'll drop in the grain bag. Now I would think that sugar would dissolve pretty quickly. So what the instructions say is to dump all this in, and once this is dissolved, turn it to a simmer, and simmer it with the lid on for 60 minutes. So I guess that's like steeping a tea bag. Maybe that's what it is. Although I don't steep tea for an hour either. Looking pretty clear already. I think that hot water dissolved the sugar pretty quickly. So I'll go ahead and drop this grain bag in there. Okay. Well, you can really smell that ginger immediately once it hits that hot water and steams out a little bit. So I assume that this will be very gingery. I'm going to turn this, I'm going to leave it on this smaller burner up front and turn it to kind of a medium-low heat. And we're going to put this lid back on. See how that works. And leave that for an hour. Okay, so that thing has been simmering for 60 minutes or so. I'm going to cool it down like you normally would by putting it in an ice bath. Now, there's a couple things that this kit doesn't tell you that you probably should have. And you need a thermometer because you're going to have to cool it down to pitching temperature. And it also doesn't tell you to do stuff like sanitize the scissors, and sanitize the outside of the yeast packet, things like that. You need to remember to do that. And then I'm going to take a hydrometer reading because I want to know what this starting gravity is, because I've never made ginger beer, so I'd like to know how that works. Anyway, I'm not going to make you watch all that other stuff, because if you watch all this, you already know how that goes. You put it in the ice bath, you make sure that water doesn't get inside. Sorry, that's my dog. Make sure that water doesn't get inside your wort. Okay. And then you're going to take and transfer that into whatever your fermenting vessel. Oh, that's the other thing. You need to make sure you have a sanitized funnel too, because pouring from that pot into the little neck of this bottle, that's not going to be too easy. So, but I'll show you here in a minute. Okay, so we cooled it off. Took a couple of minutes or so to get that all nice and the temperature down. I got it down to about like 79. That's fine. One thing I did want to point out, this jug, it does come with a little thermo strip right on the side there. So that's pretty neat. Another thing I'd like to point out, because I didn't fit it at first, this bung just barely fits in that hole. So keep that in mind. There's a little dog already whining at me. So you could push it in there. Don't put it in without attaching the airlock first, because if you try to just push it in there, kabloop, it's going to go all the way down in the bottle, and then you're not going to be able to get it back out. Okay? So word to the wise. You only use about a teaspoon of the packet of yeast that they gave you. So you can save the rest, seal it up real nice and tight. I would say, though, pour the yeast out into the spoon. Don't put the spoon into, even if you sanitize the spoon, don't put it inside the little bag. Yeah, because, I don't know. I've always done it that way. But anyway, I'm going to throw this into my pantry because this stays fairly cool in there, fairly decent, nice and dark. And I think I'm going to keep it there for about 7 days. Now, one thing I did do is I put some of it out into a hydrometer, and it came out at about 1058. So that means it has potential to make a whole lot of booze, but I don't think I necessarily want a lot of booze. I want it to be fizzy and probably a little alcoholic, but I don't want it to be like blow your head off alcoholic. But I put some into a glass because I wanted to taste it because I don't know what this stuff tastes like. I'll tell you, it smells like lemonade. It smells very lemony. You can smell the ginger. Bah, that's a whole lot of ginger. Well, I guess we'll see how that turns out. That is burning my throat. I mean, the liquid is super sweet. Hush puppy. Because it's like sugar water right now, like straight sugar water. But that ginger is hot. It is hot, hot, hot. So I can imagine if you have that amount of ginger and you take away some of that sugar, because, you know, the yeast is going to eat up some of that sugar. And then you also add bubbles. This is going to burn all the way down. So maybe it does have to have alcohol so you can forget about the fact that it just burned your throat. But anyway, I guess we'll see how it turns out. I'll be sure to post a video to say how that tastes, but I imagine it's going to be super hot. Like I said, I don't know about ginger beer, but might as well try it. It's something, right? So I hope you go get yourself a kit off the internet or something so you can be socially distanced and not be spreading your germs all over, but still be able to enjoy your own homebrew. Thanks for watching. Cheers.